Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the RotoBaller Radio Waiver Wire Series. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano. Happy to be with you here today as we take a look at the waiver wire. Some hitters available on the waiver wire for Week 6 of your fantasy baseball season. The week beginning Monday, May 16th. And folks, don't forget to win big in 2022 with rotoballer.com's MLB and DFS Premium Pass, which includes 15 exclusive lineup tools, daily DFS cheat sheets, and our new Team Sync platform. Use RotoBaller's exclusive hitter projections, pitching planners, DFS value plays, research stations, lineup optimizer, and more to help you win big. For a limited time, get your MLB Premium Pass for an extra 10% off using the discount code ACES. Visit rotoballer.com, sign up today, and start rotoballing like a boss. All right, everybody. Hitting the middle of May already, week beginning Monday, May 16th. Time to dive into the waiver wire, look for some hitters who may be available. Full disclosure, it's Saturday morning as I record this, the 14th of May, so numbers may change between now and when you work that waiver wire. And if you're looking for players, right, like guys like Trent Grisham who have let you down, players like that who maybe you want to move on from, we have some players available on the waiver wire. Yahoo, always the place I go to check that roster percentage. Try to keep it at or below 40% as much as possible. I always throw a catcher out there as well. One catcher I want to mention is in Toronto, currently on a rehab assignment from an oblique injury, and that's Danny Jansen. 11% roster. Before he got hurt, he was hot. He only had 7 at-bats, but in those 7 at-bats, he had 4 hits, 2 homers, 2 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Last season showed a little bit of power with 11 home runs, was hot down the stretch. He's going to be coming off that rehab assignment and back into that Toronto lineup. James McCann just went out. He's going to be out about 6 weeks. Hand surgery for a broken bone. Thomas Nido will be catching for the Mets. So if there's some type of pivot you have to make, a 2-catcher league type of situation, Danny Jansen returning from that oblique injury and that rehab assignment may be available in leagues. Like I said, 11% rostered currently on yahoo.com. All right, take a look at some corner infielders. 3 players I want to mention. One of them I've mentioned oftentimes in the past, but first up is Jesus Aguilar of the Miami Marlins. I mentioned him last week. I mentioned him again today because he's still less than 40% rostered, sitting currently at about a 32% rostership on Yahoo. And over the last 2 weeks, he's been scorching hot, hitting .319 with 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. On the season, he's up to 15 RBIs and 4 homers and hitting a more than respectable .266 with an on-base percentage of .341. This is a guy who drove in 90-plus last year, hit 20-plus last year. He's currently got an OPS of .745, and sitting at only 32% roster does strike me as a bit low. He should be active. He should be on teams and plugging a corner infield spot, a utility bat spot, whatever it may be. By the end of the year, he's a back of the baseball card. He's 20-plus home runs and close to 100 RBIs. At third base, if you need a third baseman, forget about the big picture. Look at the small picture on Amar Candelario of the Detroit Tigers. Yes, on the season, it doesn't look pretty. He's hitting .205 with 2 homers, 11 RBIs, and 13 runs scored. But he's been hot over the last 14 days. Batting average over the last 14 days is at .294 for Candelario of the Detroit Tigers, and he's still only 13% rostered. My feeling is he may have been drafted, dropped, okay? Again, when you set the filters to check who's available on your waiver wire, don't go by the season anymore. Streamline that to a 2-week period. Look at the back of the baseball card. Candelario last season had an on-base percentage of .351 with a .271 batting average and was 3rd in the league in doubles with 42, okay? Slow start, getting it right now. I'll believe more in that .294 than I will on that season total .205. I've held with him, put him on my bench. I'm going to get him back in my lineup in some corner infield spots in some leagues where I have Candelario. Again, only 13% rostered. You should be able to get him cheap if you're in a fab league because people will look at the big picture, not the small sample. In this case, I believe in the small sample of Candelario. And third, and really my number one ad in a corner infield spot, St. Louis Cardinals rookie Juan Yepez. First base, third base eligible on Yahoo. Also has been playing the outfield and will gain that outfield eligibility. I took Yepez in the tout draft and hold, where there's no waivers, there's no pickups. It's a 50-round draft. I want to say I took him somewhere in the mid-30s. And he's paying off now that he's in my lineup. I took him originally because I didn't have another first baseman behind Paul Goldschmidt. Now it's a situation where I'll be utilizing both St. Louis Cardinals. As he's come up, he's hit at every stop in the minor leagues. He's come up. Now, he's a little bit higher rostership than some of the other players here. He's sitting at about 45%. But if he's available in your leagues, he needs to be your priority ad. Batting .382 on the small sample since he's been called up with a .432 on-base percentage. Shown power with 2 homers, 4 RBIs, and 5 runs scored. He's got the second highest OPS of anybody I'm mentioning here today at 1.079. Juan Yepez is going to be corner infield, first base, maybe third base, depending on the format you're in, as well as eventually outfield eligible. And keep in mind, this Cardinal outfield, okay, Harrison Bader's stealing a ton, but Dylan Carlson, Tyler O'Neill, neither one of them are hitting. I believe they're both sitting at or maybe even below 200 at this point on the season. Yepez comes in, he's swinging a hot bat. As long as he keeps swinging that hot bat, he will play for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's not only an ad, but he's an ad and get in your lineup. Okay? Middle infield options. If you're looking for stolen bases, Jorge Mateo of the Baltimore Orioles is out there. Only rostered in 31% of leagues. He was rostered, he jumped up, he went back down, but he continues to run, even though the batting average isn't fantastic. On the season, Mateo's hitting .243. Over his last 2 weeks, 14 days, he's hitting .261. Second base, shortstop, outfield eligible. I have him in a league where it's outfield specific, so he gives me center field eligibility, and I've been able to use him there because I cannot keep 10 stolen bases on the season on the waiver wire. Guys, if you're in a roto league, 10 steals is 10 home runs, right? You wouldn't leave 10 home runs on the waiver wire. I'm not leaving 10 stolen bases on the season on the waiver wire as well. Now listen, the on-base percentage isn't great. It's .282 on the season, 2 homers, 8 RBIs, 12 runs scored, nothing to sneeze at, but it comes down to speed. Mateo's providing it. He's got 3 stolen bases over the last 14 days, 10 stolen bases on the season, and he's only 31% rostered. If you're looking for a batting average boost, take a look in Seattle at second baseman, also outfield eligible, Adam Frazier. Okay, 38% roster. Now on the season, he's hitting .264 with a .343 on base percentage. Now he doesn't run, he doesn't hit for a ton of power. He's got 1 stolen base, 1 home run on the season. We know all of this. Okay, but he is a lifetime .281 hitter who over his last 14 days is hitting .310 for the Seattle Mariners. If you need a middle infielder, your batting average is being dragged down, as most of the league's batting average is being dragged down, right? The amount of hitters hitting like at 200 or lower is just ridiculous. Well, Adam Frazier is hitting .310 over the last 14 and can give you a little bit of boost playing every day in that Seattle lineup. Okay, 38% rostered, second base, middle infield, and outfield eligible. Now, speaking of outfield, 2 outfielders available. One is a phenom, Alek Thomas of the Arizona Diamondbacks, a top 25 prospect in Major League Baseball coming into the season. Arizona promoted him, still only 29% rostered. And Josh Hayes and I spoke of this on SiriusXM. People may be running scared of these rookies because you've seen so many of them flounder, right? Jared Kelenic just got sent down. Okay, ton of rookies struggling this year, dragging batting averages down. Guys like Julio Rodriguez got off to a slow start, although he's hitting now. Well, Alek Thomas is the exception right now, like Juan Yepez. He's hitting .385 since his call-up. 1 homer, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. His OPS, on-base plus slugging, is the highest of any player I'm mentioning here today at 1.154. Okay, he and Yepez have the 2 highest OPSs of anybody I'm mentioning, yet Thomas is less than 30% rostered on Yahoo, and Yepez is less than 50% at about 45%. In the minors in 2021, between 2 stops, he hit over 300 with 13 stolen bases and 18 home runs. Arizona desperate for offense, desperate for a boost. Alek Thomas going to come in and potentially provide that and should have the opportunity to play every day. At 29% rostered, he is a priority ad for me this week. And finally, if you're looking for the safety of a veteran, Mark Canha of the New York Mets, 41% rostered, hitting .299 on the season, another 300 hitter available on the waivers. Now, the problem with Canha is not flashing much power. I think he's got 3 extra base hits on the season, 2 of them home runs, but he's driving in runs with 12 RBIs. He's scoring runs with 10 runs scored. OPS sits at 740, and he does what he always does with his on-base percentage, currently sitting at 361. Tough to, again, in a league where batting averages are so low, it's okay if your 5th outfielder is at least hitting 300 for you, and that's essentially what Canha is doing. If you need a desperate for a catcher, Danny Jansen of the Blue Jays. Okay, corner infield, if I rank them, Juan Yepes 1, Jesus Aguilar 2, Candelario 3. Middle infield, batting average need, go Adam Frazier. Speed, take Jorge Mateo of the Baltimore Orioles. Outfield, if you want the exciting upside of the young player, Alek Thomas. The safety of a veteran who's been around the block, Mark Canha. The veterans will always cost you less. Everybody likes the shiny new toy. Yepes and Thomas are going to cost you in some fab this week. But put the waiver claim in and see what you can get. Folks, don't forget, like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel. Download the app onto your phone for all the great RotoBaller content right there in your hand. The start sits and all the great content that RotoBaller provides, as well as all the latest news. Terrific news feed there. Follow me on Twitter at @Aniano Fantasy. Make sure you check out the Week 6 pitcher waiver wire video as well. All right, everybody, stay smart, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, folks.